Innings All-Stars have won the toss. They have this time decided to chase. In the first game, if you may remember, they opted to bat first and put a mammoth total on the board. We're ready for this one as everything is all in readiness, and I've got in the comm box with me Vinod. Very good afternoon, Vinod.
Good afternoon, Shah. And it's going to be Farhan Ali. Did very well, as I said before, at the tournament we had in St. Martin. And he continues. There goes the umpire. Probably a bathroom break, so to speak. So Shah, who's the chief cook and bottle washer around here, I think Shah is going to run straight into the commentary box now. He is leaving the duties as square leg umpire. And he's going to come up. It's rather hot in the comm box today.
It's pretty humid. Outside is pretty nice. It's windy.
Yes.
It's cloudy, but no immediate threat of rain.
Yeah. This morning the clouds had broken up, so there were blue skies interspersed. But now it's just a blanket of white as Farhan Ali with this distinctive jump of his from the southern end. Good delivery, good line, good length, just back of a length outside the off stump. The batsman drawn into the shot, is probing at it through to the wicketkeeper. So UCT yet to get off the mark.
Good start from Farhan. Good length, a little bit of shape as well. And as we see from the morning, the roller was out just a few minutes ago. The color of the pitch has changed now from that dark color that we had in the morning to a bit of straw-colored, whitish looking. And if you remember from previous US Open, you had the best surface here. There was good bounce, good carry, good for stroke play. So it looks like it's going to be another exciting game with the pitch the way it is.
Yes, you're seeing that here. It's very evident that as the day has progressed, the pitch has dried out nicely. The ball is going to come on nicely onto the bat. This is a delivery too wide, and they're giving the batsman enough room to play it away down to backward point. He's going to come back for two, and on that occasion, a bit too wide outside the off stump. Farhan Ali looking to break through. He is just behind Muhammad Ali Khan. They did a lot of training together. He used to drive 5 hours from Ohio to Chicago to play cricket. Ali Khan and Farhan Ali. So he's just looking for that breakthrough. He has been playing a US Open, the T20 tournaments as well. He was a star of the Unity Cup last year in Chicago.
He's got a very good high arm action, good run up, good approach. Seems to have got the basics right. Nice high action, bit of pace about him as well.
He's a rhythm bowler. And I was speaking to him about this jump that he has, and he says he doesn't really know about it. This part of what gives him his rhythm. Here he goes again. Outside the off stump, a bad delivery really by Farhan on that occasion. It didn't get up at all. And that is why the batsman couldn't cut it away. And it's true to the wicketkeeper. So he's keeping things tidy though. This is the first over and it's 3 without loss.
You know, his jump is pretty distinct, but I don't know if you remember the Pakistan fast bowler who just got picked up for the World Cup as well, Junaid Khan. He used to have this kind of peculiar jump at the start of his run-up. But in the last couple of years, he's got away with it. And I don't know what was the reason, as you said. It's just they feel comfortable doing it, and it becomes part of their setup.
This delivery is punched away through the covers for 4. It did outswing, but it was overpitched. And the batsman, Usman Ali, going airborne and into the boundary for 4. So the score is now 7 without loss. In fact, it's Gurshid. Takes the score to 7 without loss. UCT.
2 full on that occasion, and with on offer as well. And this time, get the chance to the batsman to free his arms. Got it right off the meat of the bat. This outfield is very fast as well. Every time you get through the infield, you get full value for your strokes.
And the boundaries here are pretty short. Even you could make runs here, Shah. This delivery comes back into him, and he plays it away to mid-on. Good thinking, good running, good calling from Usman at the non-striker's end. and they get one. It's the end of over number one, and the end of it, 8 without loss.
Yeah. Back in the day, might be but nowadays, you give me any pitch, any bowling, any outfield, I can't score them these days. So good, exciting first over. In length on one occasion, the batsman took full toll of that. Otherwise, Farhan was on the money most of the time. And talking of Farhan and Ali Khan, and that brings to mind the recent elevation of the United States to the ODI status. It's a very, very big news for us, especially living in this country and being passionate about the game of cricket and everybody involved.
Yes, and that's great news indeed. I think a number of teams would come to the United States now to play America as they have gained ODI status, and it's not a team to be underestimated because you have some players packed in there who would have played at the higher level already. Players like Xavier Marshall would have played for the West Indies, and you have some other very good players. Muhammad Ali Khan, who was a star of the CPL last year. You also have Jaskaran Malhotra, who was a star of the US Open last year, got back-to-back hundreds, in fact, the year before, and got a 90-odd this year in the US Open finals. He also did well in the T20, the Mark T10, sorry. So you have some quality in there. And not to forget Stephen Taylor. So here is Wig. He comes in on bowls, and this is flicked away over the infield. One bounce to the man down at deep mid-wicket boundary, and that's one. And I want you to have a close look at Wig bowling from the media center end. He reminds me of he looks like a left-handed version of Ali Khan. Take a look at him.
We saw him in the morning in the first game. He did quite well as well, young lad. And this, as we watch him now, the bustle to the crease, quick arm action, and the Yorker as well.
Yes. Striking him just outside the leg stump, and two good traits of Ali Khan, the quick arm action and the Yorker. Ali Khan, they call him the Yorker machine. And of course that quick arm action lends to the extra piece. And I'm looking also at Wig, and he seems to be taking a little jump as well.
A little hop to begin, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it is.
There you go.
Goes in again and bowls, and this time it's again over pitched, and the batsman feeling free because of the nature of the track. He can play through the line, and that one is over long on for a maximum. The score goes on now to 16 without loss, and Khurshid playing a wonderful shot.
Yeah, this time it was with the wind as well. It carried the ball over the fence. It was a good shot nonetheless. Full delivery on the pads, beautifully timed. So it's a good contest here. 16 for none UCT. Their openers have shown some good quality.
Wig needs to pull it back. He's too full. This time he's down the leg side. Good take by the wicketkeeper. It's going to be signaled wide. So he has really lost it here in this over. None for 8 so far. The score is, in fact, none for 9. The score is 17 without loss. So all he needs to do is to pull it back a bit. He's bowling too close to the batsman.
Yeah, this shorter format of the game, trying to do too many things rather than being just consistent. As this time, once again, straying onto the pads, find leg up in the circle, the batsman would think that he's missed out on an opportunity here. His leg bar has been signaled.
Yes, another delivery that was too straight, and with no one down at long leg or deep backward square. Any bat onto that would have taken it to the boundary, of course, using the pace of Wig as well. Any information on Wig? Does he play here in the domestic league? I know you follow domestic cricket as well.
Yeah, he's a name that hasn't sprung in many other competitions, so this is the first time that he's really come to prominence. It's a big shot for a run out, but umpire says nothing doing. Before this over, I was going to say that the pace bowlers that we see, Farhan and now Wig, and these kind of competitions, we're getting more and more kind of youngsters coming through the fore. As I said, we never heard a big mention of him before, but probably that's That's his stage. Like Mac was saying in the morning, he's providing the stage to all those youngsters to shine.
This again is overpitched and driven down the ground for four. So he's not learning his lesson. He switched to around the wicket, but he continued to overpitch the deliveries, and that's driven away for four.
Angling in from around the wicket, but too full once again. The timing was good and the placement was even better. So Wake finishes off with an expensive over. But that's the nature of this game. T10 formats, the batsman's got the license to go after the bowlers. And even good deliveries are being attacked because the batsman with 10 wickets in hand with only 10 overs to play, as I said, they got the license to go for it. So,
well, let's see if he's going to bowl out Farhan Ali, or he's going to keep him back for one. More than likely, he's going to pull him back. I think a good option right now might be Rajesh Sharma. If you can bring Sharma on, he has the experience. In fact, it seems as if he has bugged the commentary booth, because Qureshi is now going to bring Sharma on from the southern end. And let's see how he goes. But he's a very experienced character. And moments ago, he introduced me to a young lady, telling me that's his wife from Trinidad and Tobago.
wow. That world is a small place, right? Rajesh Sharma, is he former ICL? Or
Yes, ICL and IPL.
IPL prodigy.
Yes, he did both ICL and IPL. He was in the Kolkata Knight Riders camp for 2 years, and under the shadows of Sunil Narain. So he's going to bowl now. He played for India under 19 at the World Cup. He also played for India A team. Had some issues with his bowling action. Here he is now. He comes in and bowls. That's a good delivery outside the off stump. Pushed away to point. They're going to run for everything. And that's a single.
Last time we found Rajesh, I think, was in the cornfields, back on
Yes.
that camera in Houston.
Did a great
That
job.
windy and cold day.
Yes, did a great job as a cameraman. And how would we do for just a little bit of that cool at this moment? It's very hot in the com box.
Always find something to complain. Never happy. That's a wild return from the fielder in covers. No damage done.
Yes, so the score remains 25 without loss. And that was Malik firing that return in. So Sharma looking to pull it back somewhat. Around with 10.7 at the moment.
Still in the power play. Both the deep fielders are on the onside.
Well, he's tilting the ball into the right hander, so that's expected. Sharma, this one thunders into the pad. So 3 deliveries, Shah. He has pulled it back.
Yeah, quick through the air. Not prepared to flat it up at this stage. And trying to cramp the batsman for space.
Outside the off stump, he's out caught. Straight to Malik. It was outside the off stump, and this laying back was crocheted, looking to cut through the offside, and he is out caught. In fact, it was Usman Ali who has been dismissed. So it's 25 for 1.
Yeah, that was there for the taking. Short and outside the off stump. But he hit it in the air and straight to the fielder. He perishes. First blood for the US All-Stars. And Sharma has not only pulled it back with a few dots, but also provided the breakthrough as well. 25 for 1.
This is going to retard their progress. So Usman Ali leaves for 6. Trini Ras on the outside enjoying himself, the DJ. Having a good time.
He's a popular man. He adds to the atmosphere.
There's been a permanent fixture of the CCUSA setup here at this ground. I remembered one year where he was not preferred, and he came and set up next to the guy who was hired. Free of charge.
You don't want to let go of his place.
And at the end of the first day, the guy never came back.
He couldn't sustain the competition from DJ Ross, so
Yes.
that's one way of keeping your place.
Yes, DJ Ras from Trinidad and Tobago. So, the keeper is going to get a helmet, and he's probably going to stand up now to Sharma. He was standing up, Mr. Rahman, before, but as is the norm these days, the wicketkeeper, and nothing wrong with that, they go for the extra protection.
And it's amazing to see that how many times they get hit these days wearing the helmet, where days gone by, wicket keepers would have no helmets, and they would keep wickets on rank turners, and we never used to notice that many hits back then. But these days, the more protection, the more they seem to get hit.
Yes, and probably because of the fact that they're expecting to be struck on the grill or the head, and they normally get that. I remember speaking to Sir Vivian Richards, and he told me I had asked him about not using helmets and why he didn't use helmets. He said it was very simple. It was if it was like a bee coming to sting you. The moment you took your eyes off it, it's definitely going to sting you. But if you kept your eyes on it, you're going to bob and weave, and it would not be able to hit you. And I think that is what he used.
Yeah, I've come across players after this ball as Sharma finishes off his over with a dot. A lot of players are of the opinion that the lesser the protective gear, the more they're able to concentrate somehow and not fall back onto their comfort zones. And Richards was like a prime example of that, Sir Vivian, because he never ever used helmet. And back in the day, fearsome fast bowling attacks all around the world, and some dodgy pitches to add to that.
He told me one of the best hundreds he ever made was at Multan in 1981, where the ball was turning all over the place, and he took got some badges, so to speak, from some of the spinners especially, and he stood out there and got 120.
Funny thing about that 100 is that Inzamam, who hails from Multan, he said that's the test match for the first time he went to see as a kid a test match from the ground, from the stands, and that's the day that he said that I'm going to bat like this chap. So his was his inspiration, Sir Vivian.
Yep.
And that was a fantastic 100.
So Qureshi is into the attack now, well pitched up outside the off stump. He's struggling with his left knee. He has an injury to the left knee, but he's not allowing that to keep him back. And that delivery squeezed away back to him. So Qureshi, in fact, the batsman missed, and the keeper returns to Qureshi. None for 9 of his 2 overs this morning. So if he can tighten the screws as Sharma did, it's going to put his team into an excellent position. Not a good delivery, takes the inside edge.
Qureshi's been the only bowler we've seen in the morning as we watch the umpire signal a bye. He's prepared to give air to the ball, despite being the shortest format. But he was willing to toss the ball up in the air and challenge the batsman.
Well, he's not, as I said before, 100%. And if you look at him, there's no hip rotation at the point of delivery, given, and that is because he cannot pivot nicely on to his left foot because of the fact that his knee is giving him a lot of problems. If you look at him here, so he's not really pivoting well. This delivery is picked up, one bounce down to deep mid wicket for 1.
You're right. We could see him moving quite gingerly, and that knee is troubling him, and that does affect the pivot and the rotation, and that means that he's not giving it the full purchase on the ball, and his body is trying to protect it a little bit.
He's still doing a good job. He's using all his experience here. It's all about where he pitches, and so he's not getting the ball to rip. And at the moment, it's 28 for 1. This delivery pushed away on the offside. That's a single. So Lenny Archiba, good afternoon, my brother. Hope that it's cold and nice out in New York. It's very hot and humid down here. Probably that's why you didn't come across, because of the humidity.
Yeah, Lenny's a great friend and a very good commentator. Generally part of these events as we watch another wide from Qureshi. Slight fumble from the keeper as well.
That's Qureshi pulling that one down, and it went down the leg side. So that's 2 runs. I'm sure that for the US Open, you would see Lenny walking up the steps, armed with his monitor under his arm. He walks all over with that monitor of his.
Yeah, he's got his own equipment He never lets anyone borrow his equipment.
He's a one-man army. Reminds me so much of Ahmed Rana.
That's where I shall stop.
So it's the end of the over. End of a good over from Qureshi as well. Just 5 runs. And the score 32 for 1 after 4.
But UCT, generally, they've been a bit better than what US All-Stars encountered in the first game. The opposition in the first game. They rolled them over quite easily. But I think overall, US All-Stars have good all-round strength and depth in this group, and they look forward. They look favorite from at least from their group to qualify.
Yes, and we're going to see Sharma continue. He's going to bowl Sharma out. He's around the wicket now. He comes in and bowls. And the left-handed Singh fails to make contact. Singh is on 2. Kershid is on 19. 32 for 1 over number 5 in progress.
Sharma bowling with a slip. This one is in the air. Fielder's coming underneath it. Struggling it, but he's got it. Good catch in the end. For a moment, it looked like the wind is going to play havoc with him. He misjudged it initially, but then had enough time to camp underneath and provide his team another breakthrough. And Sharma has got his second wicket.
Well, I don't think Sharma or any of the others on the US All-Stars team were very confident as Malik approached that delivery. And he was able to negotiate whatever swing and swerve in the air and take the catch down at the backward square. So Singh goes, and the UCT, they're struggling a bit here now, 32 for the loss of 2. This is over 5.
The spinners had put a stranglehold on the UCT innings. They started off quite brightly, but there looks like they're sinking in a hole. Have no answers to Sharma and Qureshi. 3 wickets are down and not very many on the board as we approach the halfway stage of this innings.
So Ullah comes in to join the Kershid. There's a second wicket just fall. And Sharma has really pulled it back nicely. 2 for 2. For 1.2. So you would have seen Viv Richards in Pakistan as well.
I did. I saw him during the World Cup in 1987.
Yes, of course. We all remember that World Cup when Courtney Andrew Walsh became a national hero in Pakistan for not running out Abdul Qadir and Salim Jaffer, I think it was.
Salim Jaffer was backing up too far.
And Abdul Qadir finished the match in style.
Abdul Qadir did. He hit Walsh for 10 runs off 3 balls.
And this is another wicket. Yeah, yes it is. So Sharma gets his 3rd wicket. He now has 3 for 3. This is magnificent bowling by Sharma. Farhan Ali takes a wonderful catch down at the deep mid-wicket boundary. And that's wonderful indeed. 33 for 3. And I remember that World Cup in 1987. The West Indies, they could have beaten England at Gujranwala.
Yeah.
And
Alan Lamb got that one.
18 runs of the last over. Alan Lamb got 20. Courtney Walsh was the bowler. And then against Pakistan, when Walsh could have run out Salim Jaffer, he gave him a warning, and Abdul Qadir struck the ball for 6. Viv Richards, as I told you before, I was very fortunate. Viv and I were close friends. So we sit sometimes and we speak. I remember in Dubai where he was telling me to pull up certain clips, and I always say this is a real blessing to have a legend like Sir Viv sit with you and you pull up clips of his batting and he tells you exactly what he's thinking.
Wow.
And on the occasion what was going on. I remember him telling me that when Abdul Qadir struck the ball, he was at mid-off and the ball just went up in the air and he just failed to turn around because from the moment he left the bat he thought it was 6. And he said he just fell to the ground and stayed there for a very, very long time.
Yeah, that's the iconic image of, the camera work or the photography wasn't that good on those days. But I remember watching it live as a kid, that when Sir Vivian Richards sunk into his knees and fell on the ground, for a long, long time, for as long as that footage could show him, he didn't get up from the ground. He was just like distraught. And I remember that very clearly, what you're telling me, that he made a special mention to you, because that was the second time in that tournament and they missed out narrowly for the semi-final berth. And in the end, Australian team won.
Yep.
Nobody rated in that World Cup.
Definitely no one rated Australia. India, of course, lost to England after being well on top against England. They lost to England. And England, of course, made it into the finals to play Australia, and Australia took the game.
Yeah.
That is when the reverse sweep came into...
Oh, Mike Getting's reverse sweep.
Yeah.
Yeah, England was cruising at that stage, and the skipper played the reverse sweep and got out. And another of those iconic moments in that World Cup was the semi-final, Pakistan versus Australia, where Pakistan were in trouble, but then Imran and Miyadad rescued the innings. And that famous decision of Dickie Bird to give Imran caught behind with hardly anyone appealed of the bowling of Alan Border still remains fresh in the memory.
Definitely, I thought that Imran was far away from etching that ball. But Dickie decided to send him.
And that was the saddest day that I can remember being a fan of Pakistan team, because that World Cup was so amazing and the team was so good that when that semi-final ended, it felt like the world has ended. I mean, it was so emotionally draining and so upsetting to be a favorite and looking forward to play India in the final. I mean, all came down in a heap, and when it did, it was painful.
Well, it was not the battle that we all wanted, India-Pakistan. It was the battle of the ashes. It ended up being Australia and, of course, Pakistan. Australia and England. But then, 4 years on, it was the turn of the West Indies to again narrowly missed out in the semi-finals because the rain gods decided to help Pakistan. England had bowled Pakistan out for 74, and rain fell. The West Indies were edged out after beating Pakistan by 10 wickets in the first match.
I know, but again, in that game, one of the moments of the tournament was the game between Australia and West Indies as well, where Brian Lara was single-handedly taking West Indies to victory.
Yes.
And something happened to some guy called Winston Benjamin.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll discuss that
more
so
in
detail.
We're going to have a double break as the newest of commentators to arrive on the world scene. Samantha Qureshi is coming along with her good friend, Ivor the Great Henry.
And Zishan up to bowl. Oh, what a catch from Rajesh Sharma, I believe that was.
My word, we came into some excitement here, and a great catch. It was a shoelace catch, as we call it. It was on the bootlace, and he picked it up, and we've come in right in time to see the back of another batter. 34 for the loss of 4 wickets, Samantha.
Yes. Now looking at this scoreboard, as not a veteran cricket viewer, just a quick question. Let's explain some things. I see where it says bowler and it lists the names. There's a nice arrow to help you figure out who is the bowler. I see an O, which I'm assuming means over. Is that correct?
Yes, well, let's take it from the top. The current score, UCT, is 34 for 4. The batsman is on 0. What's his name there? Subhani. He is on 0, and we have the other batter.
So Subhani would be the new batter in.
Yes. And the other batter there, Khurshid. He is on 20. Now the bowler.
So the numbers on the side of their name shows, ooh, look at that.
This one is Ariel, but
nice stop from number 14 of the U.S. All-Stars, Rizwan Chima, the vice captain. So basically what you're saying is the number next to their name shows you how many runs
yes.
they themselves have contributed.
Yes, exactly. So loud appeal from Qureshi, and the umpire is not interested. He's not interested. So a dot goes into the scorer's book, 35 for 4. So Qureshi is doing it again. He would have bowled his first 2 overs in the first match for some 9 runs, and he is amongst the wickets. Got 1 in this over. The batsman is playing across this one. He goes through to the wicket keeper. Good stuff here from Zijan Qureshi.
Okay, so going down the scoreboard once again, the bowler then tells you who's bowling.
Yes, and
The red dot says Qureshi is the bowler.
yes.
So the O would mean
And he is given.
overs.
So Qureshi gets 2 in the over. So you bought him. You bought your brother some luck.
I see that. He is doing quite well this tournament. Earlier this morning in his game, he did some good bowling. He didn't have very many runs on his balls, which is the key to any bowler.
Yes or no?
Now he has 2 outs.
2 wickets for only 6 runs. And he has 2 legal delivery left in his spell.
So the O would mean how many overs each bowler has bowled. So
Yes.
J Wig is done for, I believe, right? It
yes,
says he's bowled,
His ball is
completed
allotted
2
2
overs.
overs
And Qureshi, he has 2 more balls left.
to left his spell.
To-
Yes, in his spell.
And then he's done for the game?
Yes, because
Okay.
a bowler
then
can only
he-
bowl 2 overs maximum.
In a T10. Okay.
T10, yes.
Now, when we get to the M, what does M
Maiden,
stand for?
Maidens. That means they bowl 6 dot balls in the over.
Can you explain that further?
Right. If you bowl a ball and the batsman does not score from it, or you would not have given a wide, nothing that goes against your bowling in terms of runs means you bowl 6 dot balls in a row. That's a maiden. So the M is for maiden.
Okay.
So none of them has bowled a maiden as yet.
So for the most part, there's the maiden stays a 0.
For the most part, yes, because you
Yes.
always want to score. When you bowl a maiden over, that means you're bowling really well.
Okay. And the R would stand
Runs,
for
runs.
So that's how many runs have
Came
been
off your
scored
bowling.
off of your bowling.
Yes.
And for the W, it says how many wickets you've gotten.
There you got it.
All right.
There you got it.
For myself, clarity, and for our viewers.
There you got it. So we're reading from the big jumbo scoreboard here at the Broward County Stadium. And Samantha's got it all worked out now. So Qureshi is guilty of going down the leg side, having taken a wicket with his previous delivery, has bowled wide, and the wide counts against the bowler.
All right. And another.
Ooh, and that was just a fingertip away from being out
And
caught, and they're
going
hustling for 2.
2.
And a better throw would have had him in a split of bother, and that brings the end of Qureshi's 2 allotted overs. Very well done. His ball is 2 overs for somewhat 11 runs.
8.
How many runs came from
8.
him?
No, 9. 9
9.
runs.
So there
that's
again.
Very well.
Now, the only difference here from his first spell this morning is that he picked up 2 wickets this time. He did not pick up any wicket in the first match, but it was a very good spell, having bowled 2 overs for 9 runs. And now he has advanced his cause by taking 2 wickets.
Looks like he also is trying to go for those player prizes that we were talking about earlier. There are prizes for all the players and based on their performance. The top 10 bowlers and batters, as well as the top 4 or 5, I believe, fielders.
And bowlers and stuff. Okay. So he has found himself in the wicket column. So folks, again, for those who are just coming in, we are playing 10-10, Mach 10 cricket here at the Broward County Stadium in Florida, USA. This is the 3rd match of the day. That's one just swing and a miss.
And
this
that's
one-
up in the air. He's trying to go for the catch. Did he?
He
Oh,
dropped
what a
it.
drop.
And there goes the quack quack, comes in from the outside. If you can pick it up from an outside microphone, when you drop a catch, you'll hear that quack, 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 quack. But that should have been taken. That was an easy catch.
That was.
I know the trading fielders are saying, well,
Nice try, but get out of my way.
Get out of my way, because the chances are another might be coming that way, and you seem to be having buttered fingers.
And outfielder coming in to grab that. Someone lost a hat. Hat on the field.
Yeah, the field from the deep backward point. So we're into the 40s now. It's slow going here for the UCT. It's 40 for 5. The overs are winding down. We're into the second half. We're into
That
over
just
number
shows
7.
that the All Stars, their fielding is on point. They're definitely going to be a team to look out for.
Yes, they've won the first match quite easily, and this one they're putting the vice grip onto the UCT. They're keeping them on the wraps.
I'm going to make the same prediction that if this team plays the way they did this morning, they'll finish this game up quite quick.
I think right now you're on par for that. I don't predict they're going to make much more than, let's say, I give them 65 runs, another 25 runs maybe, from another 3 overs left. So we have 18 deliveries. I will double that and said 18 deliveries, they should be able to make 36 runs, so that will take them to 76. I say 75, but I don't think they're going to get there. They're going to make probably 60 something. But now it's the happy hour time. It's only 3 overs left. Half of the side has been down though, 5 wickets. All of 10 would mean that the innings is closed. But nonetheless, they have got to go for it here. There's not enough runs on the board for this all-star team.
All Stars they are. That was a beautiful out. No.
It seems as if he has got his man. He was a swing and a miss, and he's out stumped.
Yes.
So it was a beautiful leg spinner there.
Good
Is
job
that
from
Trini, that was a nice
Sadiq.
Sadiq. Okay.
Well, these players are dropping like flies.
Yeah, so 6 wickets have fallen. So
Might not even make it to your prediction at this
I
rate.
don't think so, not at this rate, because you've got to go after these bowlers, and he stepped out of his crease, and the umpire had no hesitation in giving him out stump. So UCT is in a spot of bother. If you're just waking up over there in the Middle East, we're having cricket here on the bright skies. Is a little hazy.
I would say it's cloudy. It's definitely still hot.
It
The
is
sun
hot.
might not be out, but the heat is out.
But it's still a good day for cricket, and no immediate threat of rain. So that we just want to let you folks know. Even though the wind seems as if it has picked up, the banners are falling like flies in the western portion of the ground.
You can see the flags waving.
And this one is in the air. There's a feeler getting very close to it, but it goes
And
1-2
they
bounces.
stopped at 4. Like I said, they've been fielding well, getting those 4s prevented, making lots of catches. They have been keeping their fielding tight.
Yes, so this time he's going again. He's going for the stump, and he's given. He did not get back in time. The batter doesn't seem to be too happy with that, but he came down the wicket to another leg spinner. It left him, and the wicketkeeper whipped the bails off in a flash. And the umpire, who's standing at square leg, had no hesitation in giving him out. And we do not have the advantage of seeing it here on the replay. We'll have to check it on the main scores. They have it showing over there, but we don't have it here. But for you viewers at home, you'll be able to see the replay.
Players are dropping like flies.
Dropping like flies. I don't think they. I said 60, but they're struggling to get to 50.
Yeah, looks that way.
Yes, it's
Exciting game when things happen like this as well. The catches, the outs. It's almost as exciting as those 6s. So
exactly. So Shima has bowled 1 over for just a measly 2 runs. And now we have Sadiq. He has bowled just 3 deliveries, and he has taken 2 wickets for 1 run. So some good stuff. He's bowling right arm leg spin. He's bowling over the wicket. So he's bringing a slip up in place. Cover point, deep extra cover. Cover. This time he's playing with soft hands. He's getting off the mark right away. They're not in any hurry to prevent that single. And there's a long off. Those are the men in the offside. And on the onside you have deep mid wicket, deep backward square leg, long on.
Oh,
And this
that's
one is
up
in
in
the
air.
air. The keeper is getting on it. He's saying, mine man takes the
Oh.
catch. So 3 in the over for Sadiq. So Sadiq has been whipping havoc in his first over. And his over is not done yet. So he has bowled
Shakot is out.
some 5 deliveries and he has taken 3 wickets. So 2 via the stumping and 1 caught by the wicketkeeper. So all
Yes.
3 dismissals, the wicketkeeper was involved.
Yes, the past 3.
Yes.
Wicket keeper has definitely always been, a key player in
Yes.
the fielding team.
And this time around, like I say, he has accounted for 3 of the dismissals. But it's a pity that the bowler is the one who is going to get the credit,
Yes.
taking the wicket. But the wicketkeeper flashed those bails off in a flash on 2 occasions. And this time he called mine and took a catch to make it 3 in a row for him. And the batter walking back very dejected, very disappointed, as if to say, I hit it with my bat. It went in the air. It had a height, but never the distance to get over the
Never
rope.
the distance.
And he's very, very disappointed. And again, Samantha, they're struggling to get to 50.
Yep. Are we to the 8th over? 9th over?
We're in the eighth over now, and they're getting very close to being bowled out. The first team to be bowled out in 10 overs here in this Mach 10 tournament. So we'll watch and wait and
Oh.
see if that's the cause.
And the ball didn't go very far. But they did catch a single from it.
Let's see, and it is run. So he got some will on it. That's the end of a very, very successful over there by Sadiq. Sadiq, he came up with 3 wickets in that over. So again, you're listening to the voice of Samantha. That's the daughter of Matt Qureshi, and she has had the pleasure of coming into the box to bring her brother a wicket with the first delivery that she would have picked up the microphone in this her 3rd spell at the microphones here today.
Yes, well, it's definitely good to be well-rounded. Nice to get to know what everyone does. I like to be proactive, and I get to know everyone and be involved.
Well, indeed you are, and we would have got a comment on my WhatsApp. I was very surprised to get a writing saying it is very nice to have heard a female in the box. So, Lynette, over there in St. Kitts, Lynette Fox, you're the one who would have sent in that note and saying
Nice
it was very,
stop.
very well hearing a lady's
Stopped
voice.
by Zishan Qureshi, as we were saying over before, how his stopping method is very efficient because it puts your whole body in front of the ball and not just either a leg or an arm. It puts the whole body. It creates a bigger.
This one is in the air. The wicket keeper again is getting under it, and you just can't keep the wicket keeper out of the game, Samantha.
Yes, that is a lot of catches.
So I guess he's in for a prize. For all you know, he might be the most dismissals, in which the last 4 wickets he were involved.
Well, we
9 wickets are
predicted
down.
60, and I don't
And they're
even
struggling
know
to
if they're
get
gonna
to
make
50.
It to 50.
It's
They
gonna
might
be-
get all out before 50.
I think so
That
too.
is my new prediction. All out by 50.
Before 50, I think they're going to be all out. That's my prediction. So they did not make good use of the happy hour. We're into the 9th over. This is the penultimate over. I don't think it's going to get into the 10th over because there's only 2 deliveries would have gone in this over. And the lower the batting goes in this stage of the game, it means the weaker the batting is. But be reminded, in the semi-finals and the finals, that may not be the case because you can afford to buy players.
Yes.
So who knows? You might have a long
Well-
line of good players who can bat.
Correct. Oh,
Oh, they did not run. Oh, they're not interested in an extra run.
think
Because-
they're trying to play it safe here.
Yeah, I guess they don't want to be all out. They don't want to be embarrassed
Now-
being all out in 10 overs.
In cricket, if you got all of the players out except for one, there's still one batsman left. Can he continue to play on his own, or he
No,
needs
not
a partner?
not in this playing condition. You can have that like we had the last man standing. There's a new format tournament, 100 balls over, where they have it. They call it the last man standing, where when the last man bats, he would bat, and he has to run 2, 4, or 6. He has to
Right.
run doubles, but that's a different competition. In this one, 10 wickets, inning closed.
So which format is that in?
This
Last
one
man
is in the air, but not going deep enough in the long on position. So they were in danger of getting all out on that occasion. It's coming out of England. They just played it here about a month ago. They bought the tournament here. And I had the pleasure of participating in it as an umpire. And it's very interesting, the rules and the format. So, but it was just 5 balls and over instead of 6 balls like we're having here, 6 balls and over.
Malik,
This one down the leg side, and they're getting runs here. So I think we're gonna get
4.
close to
Yes,
the
there's
50.
a 4.
So let's see if it's a wide, then it will be 50. So it's just 4 byes. Interesting. That ball was down the leg side. Beat
Little lack of
the
a
wicket
hustle.
keeper. Beat the batsman. Did not touch him. But he signaled 4 byes. And it was down the leg side. Could it be that the umpire made a mistake? Because the ball that is down the leg side, and that clearly was going even further away, should have been signaled wide, then it would have been 5 runs. And he would have had to bowl over that ball. But nonetheless, he gave it as 4 byes. So, Samantha, we're into the 10th over. I'm losing all of my bets. I'm not as lucky as you are. I say we may not get into the 10th over and final overs because only 2 deliveries would have been bowled when the last batter came to bat. My prediction is that he would have been a no good batter, so he would have been out in 4 deliveries, but that's not the case. Down the leg side, and there goes
Out
the
of
50.
wide, and there we go. Running for that to stop that 4. And he was able to stop the 4, but they completed 2 runs.
Yes, and indeed it would be 3 added to the total because the wide plus the 1, 2. So that would be 3 runs added.
So they are
And-
at 52 for 9.
Yes. So, oh, and he's leaving alone. Now it's time for him to go for glory because this is the last over. But he's shouldering arms and saying, I'm going to give you a dot. So Sadiq,
Sammy
leg
Sadiq.
spinners, and he's going for this one, and he's getting a
it's
good
up in
hold
the
of this
air.
one,
It's
and
a
there we go.
Beautiful 6. Beautiful to the fences.
Okay, I'll let you describe that one again. The batter would have caught up with that one, got a good hold of it, and sent it deep over deep mid wicket for 6. So that brought some excitement here. Maybe I might get my 60.
Oh, it looks that way.
Okay, we'll watch and wait. We have 2 more deliveries. And it is 58. So 2 more legal deliveries. Let us see if at least I can get 1 right. I predicted it would have been all out.
And, it's up
in the air. There's a man down there getting it. And it's 6. Again, Samantha.
Yep, you made it to your 60.
Made it to the 60. And then I may make the 65. I did use the number 65. So 1 delivery left.
1 delivery, 1 run. I think
Yeah.
that your first prediction will
Yeah,
be
65.
the end game.
Let's see. Okay.
And
Then they're getting the 65. They should try
there's
to
the
get.
65.
They should try to get 2, but then.
Playing it safe. It is the last, so I wouldn't have played it safe.
Okay, so well, 1 more delivery left. So the scoreboard is tricking us here. There was a wide, and I guess the advance thinks that this is the last ball, and he's driving and they're scamping through for single, which they will get in the end. So they did get over the 65. They got 66. By no means a difficult task for the U.S. All-Star. They should get that in the canter. We would have looked at Shima, got 62 runs in the first play. I don't know if he would.
Well, I'm definitely excited for when we come back. I believe that the breaks have been shortened due to some late start, but we're catching up quick, it seems.
Yeah, they're going to knock this off quickly. My bet is that within 6 overs, the U.S. All-Star is going to knock this off. So I hope the other two teams are here already.
Sounds reliable. Definitely will be great for this game to end early because Mr. Mack himself here is participating, and his team is playing right now at the outside ground, and I would love to catch some of that.
Yeah, well, he said he's coming over here to play.
Yes, they do have a game today at 7:20. I believe that game is also behind, so probably around 8.
Oh, yes.
But yes, the Chicago Catchers is another team to look out for. Should be interesting if they come up head to head against the U.S. All-Stars, see father versus son. Well, we'll see when we get there. As Mr. Ivor Henry predicted, he's guessing that the All-Stars should finish this game up in about 6 overs, and we'll be back to return and see how that goes.
Yes, for the one chase, we will be back shortly. So, thanks for viewing.